Jason Johnson, yesterday, Jonathan Chait wrote a great article at New York Magazine talking about the racial background behind the filibuster. This morning, Kevin Cruz has really boiled it down to its essence. So please forgive me. This might take a minute, but I know you'll want to hear this list. From Kevin Cruz, this is when the filibuster was used. Filibuster against the Civil Rights Bill in 1874, filibuster against the Civil Rights Bill in 1875, filibuster against pension for black officials in 1906, filibuster against confirmation of a black official in 1909, filibuster against anti-lynching bill 1921, filibuster against anti-lynching bill 1922, filibuster against anti-lynching bill 1925, filibuster against monument to black World War I veterans 1926, filibuster against anti-lynching bill 1935, filibuster against anti-lynching bill 1938, filibuster against bill targeting racial discrimination in employment 1945, filibuster against Truman's civil rights proposals 1948, filibuster against Truman's civil rights proposals 1949, filibuster against Truman's civil rights proposal 1950, filibuster against measures to fight housing discrimination 1954, filibusters against civil rights bill 1957, filibuster against civil rights bill 1960, filibuster against civil rights bill 1962, filibuster against civil rights bill 1963, filibuster against civil rights bill 1964, filibuster against civil rights bill 1966, filibuster against civil rights bill 1968, filibuster against bill targeting employment discrimination 1972, filibuster against civil rights bill 1976, filibuster against extension of voting rights bill 1982, filibuster against creation of MLK Day federal holiday 1983, filibuster against civil rights bill 1984. I can go on.
Fantastic. Yes, you can.
So this really does, for those who say that the filibuster does not have an anti-civil rights overtone to it, it's just not true.
Oh, Joe, it's not just not true. And Kevin Cruz, I read his thread. It was fantastic. Michael Harriot also had a very clear. It's clear that the filibuster is primarily used to stop black people from being able to enjoy all that this country supposedly has to offer. That's clear. That's obvious. Whether it's civil rights or pensions. I mean, the MLK holiday is ridiculous. That seems archaic now. But yes, someone was actually trying to filibuster giving Martin Luther King a holiday. The issue to me is not that there's a racial component to the filibuster. There's a racial component to almost everything in this country. That's not surprising. Anyone who knows history, anyone who pays attention knows that's the case. What galls me, actually, Joe, what I find surprising, whether it's Manchin or Sinema or the current president of the United States, is I don't understand how their support for the filibuster comes against self-interest. Because at the end of the day, if the Democrats can't pass anything, even though they have the majority in the Senate, they will lose in 2022, and then they'll lose in 2024. So regardless of whatever kind of schoolhouse rock mythological affection that you have for the filibuster, the practical reality is if some of these laws don't get passed, if the Democrats can't do something about voting rights, if the Democrats can't pass the John Lewis Civil Rights Act, first off, some of them are not going to have their jobs in 2022, but they also won't be able to pass policy. And that's the thing that shocks me most. Racism in America has almost never been a motivator for the Senate, certainly not in a positive way. But self-interest, I need to be able to pass something to keep my job, should be a motivator. It does not make any sense to me why they're